Darko is here. All right, so I got your work right, and I didn't answer yesterday because actually I was off on Friday, but that's why I'm working today. Although I'm not actually online, but I have a class on campus, but still, I just kind of can't let you wait till Monday for a response. So I'll do some kind of maybe a little bit faster than usually. Although it seems to me that there is still quite a bit of the ground to cover. All right. What I have to say first thing is that actually it does look better. So basically, you are doing good progress. Now, there is still things to fix, and some stuff is kind of clunky, especially when I went in Maya file and when I looked your weight shifts that are not there mostly or not enough. So we'll have to cover that also. Okay, so let's start. The sooner the better, right? Okay. Let's first see how your scene plays.
Parker, there is time to salvage the situation. Parker,
Shut your pie hole.
Or what? Ranger Rick, you gonna shoot me?
I can do that.
All right. So like I said, it plays quite well, actually. And because you're cutting these legs, we don't really see a problem, but there is a problem. So first I'm gonna go over what I see here in the scene sketch. And then after that, I'll go a little bit over the Maya file just to show you some stuff about the weight shift. All right. Yes, first to address also your note here on for frame 168. About the legs, like I said, we're gonna cover that a little bit later, although it doesn't look bad. And the second part of the note was if she is going down too fast on Ranger Rick, and no, she's not. It's good. Okay, for now that's it. Let's see from beginning. Let's say let's watch.
Parker, there is time to salvage the situation. Parker.
Shut.
Maybe up to here.
Parker, there is time to salvage the situation. Parker, there is time to salvage the situation. Parker, there is time to salvage the situation.
All right, so it moves quite well. It's just that it's a little bit kind of too soft. It needs some accents, you know, so we can stress that. When she starts with a shoulders already up. So my first frame on actually your first frame, she should have a she should have shoulders down. So you want shoulders down so that you have actually space where to go after that, right? What is going on here? So if you have shoulders down, then you can go with the shoulders up. Let's say on frame 7, let me see. Yeah, so on frame 7, your shoulders are up. So that's good. So from 1 to this 7, you know, we're gonna see actually her raising the shoulders. Another thing on frame 1 is that this arm kind of looks strange a little bit. Maybe she shouldn't be having her hand twisted so much. Because basically, as you're moving her arms up and down, you are not really moving her hand. So the hand kind of looks stiff and like there is no joint here. We should use joints, all joints, as much as we can. So from here, she goes up. Maybe as she's going up, maybe she can have a hands a bit down to create some overlap. And then she goes down.
There is time to salvage the situation.
There is a time to salvage the situation. I believe there is time to salvage the situation. So right now she is going through this and she hits down. Now I would like to prolong this area, this part. When she goes up with the arm to this pose, that's like somewhere around 133. If she can have actually some kind of hold, but not really hold, like a frozen image, but moving hold, right? But her hand should be kind of staying here. And then from here, when she goes down, she goes up, maybe even a little bit higher, maybe a little bit higher, and then she goes down. And then she goes down actually faster. Right now she goes down, but it's kind of slow actually. As she is going down, 1, 2, 3, she is kind of slowing into it. It shouldn't be slowing into this down hand. It should be very swift move, like you're chopping a wood, you know, like you go up, after maybe 8 or so frames that you can get here to be in this position, then you go up in 2-3 frames just like this, and let's say now from 36 you should go down, but with a one arm, that's one frame. The second frame should be already here, and then you don't need this one, you don't need this one, this one is okay, right? So it sharply goes with a, let's say, how to explain that? So let's say here, right? Her hand is here for maybe 8 frames or so, and then she goes as an anticipation, right? She goes up, and then she goes 1 frame starting going down. The second frame is already halfway, and the third frame is contact already on the other hand. Boom, right? So this is contact, tooth. So she holds here for maybe 8 or so frames, and then as an anticipation goes up, and then bam, hits down fast. And after hitting, bam, her hand can bounce off, right? Faster. So there is a boom, the collision here for 1, maybe 2 frames, and then bounces off. So it, on you can have it sooner, something like this, where there is a space in between bottom hand and up hand, right? And then she goes forward. So once again, what I'm trying to say is, if you can create a little bit longer pause somewhere here, and then she goes up and faster down. these frames that you're gonna take away here, right? This one and that one is fine. That one is good. This one out. That one out. Maybe that one out. That's good. And that's out. And that's good. So you might actually steal like a few frames here, 4, maybe 5 frames. That would be great. And add those frames here, right? So you add those frames here, and then because you don't need them here for the going down. As she is going down at this moment, she should dip even lower. So all this should happen somewhere here. All right. That's how we're gonna get a little bit more snappier animation, because right now it's kind of soft and it's just kind of moving mushily, like mushy left and right. So it would be also nice if you can actually, when she's going up with this hand here up to this point, right, if she actually can arise a bit higher. I know that we were talking about it last time, and I think you did some, but I think also that you are kind of maybe afraid that it might be too much, but it wouldn't be. At least if it's too much, then it's easy for us to take it back, but at least we know that we tried. So this one would be a little bit higher. As she's going up, her actual hand here can stay where it is, just with the whole, other body goes a little bit higher. So it's going to be a little bit higher, everything. So from this, she would go, boom, a little bit down. And then from this down pose, what is kind of like a squash pose, goes to what you have already here. All right. If you can do something about this hand, it looks a little bit broken. So I think this arm would probably, from this position, would go to something like that. You know, the palm being facing down, and I like the arc, but I think the palm is turned wrong way. So here it should be already somewhere here. So fingers this way, and then turns to this, and then goes down. That's fine. Yeah. All right. Let's play once again.
Parker, there is time to salvage the situation. Parker,
Shut your pie hole.
Okay, so now let's go about, let's talk about this part. Like I said, I'm gonna talk about weight shift just after I cover first this in Cintiq, not Cintiq, in Scene Sketch, because we don't see now the feet actually, and I don't want to switch back and forth. So let's just talk about what we see right here. her pointing forward and all this actually I think looks quite fine.
Shut your mouth.
And the problem is when actually the Ranger Rick starts talking, and as she stops, she shouldn't turn her head right away towards him. She should actually kind of like a stop, and then as she moves her body towards him, her head should be staying a little bit like behind, like she's still staring this way, although her body is already turning that way. Kind of like a delay. She's kind of like annoyed by him, so she's, you know, turning body, but the head will have a little delay. I think that would look nice. So here she turns her body, so the head should be still looking that way, and then she turns head too. Now, as her hand, this one, goes down,
Your pie hole.
actually, no, let's assume, so here,
Shut your.
you see, as her hand, this one, goes forward, this one is going backward. Now that's in a way okay, but it shouldn't happen at the same time. So as this one hits this front point, maybe this one can still be somewhere here. Somewhere here. On its way down, right? Because now after doing this, the arm had a chance to swing back. And now it's there. Now when she walks, I mean turns her hips this way, you know, we have to feel that she has joints. So this wrist should be functional. So the arm can be, you know, turned that way. As the arm's going this way, the hand actually kind of stays behind. The same probably with this one. As you know, maybe this one could started like with this, and then, or actually, that's fine. That's fine. Sorry. But then, as the arm, you see, everything starts moving this way. The hand first can have that overlap this way, and then catches up. And then again, as the arm body is going this way, her arm can be a little bit delayed with like that, and then catching up. Always think about delaying some stuff. Overlaps are incredibly important. Alright, so let's see.
Ranger Rick, you gonna shoot me?
I can do that.
When she's saying you're gonna shoot me, like first I think she maybe can go a little bit lower even here, but you're gonna see why I'm saying that once when we get to Maya. Oh, I just remember something I forgot to say about her actually turning the head. Although we're gonna cover this maybe next time, because I'm still focusing on body movements and getting good poses and timing, and then facial expressions and eventually mouth shapes we can actually adjust for next time, because there is no point perfectly tuning up the mouth shapes if you're still not sure if the pose is gonna stay here, or you might have actually move it left and right for a few frames. But still, as she is moving her head, you see how actually she looks zombie-ish, because when we look at her pupils on the in her eyes, where she's looking while she's turning head, she's like a robot scanning everything. That's now how. This is not how we turn. What we do actually is we turn first our pupils towards the direction where the head will move, and then we move the head. It's kind of like a chain reaction. So in this case, I said that as her body starts moving, rotating towards us, she still actually looks in this direction. But then, once when she starts moving, she should actually close her eyes, keep her eyes closed for a few frames, and then by the time when she arrives here, when she starts opening, so let's say you have closed eye, she is looking this direction. Then she starts moving this direction. You have a closed eyes, closed eyes, closed eyes. And then as she is starting to open her eyes, the pupil is already looking in this direction. And then she opens more eyes, and the pupils are already actually not all the way in a corner, because the guy is in front of us. So she is looking kind of right. So sorry, not really all the way to the corners, but let me fix that. So as she's opening her eyes, I don't know why is that doing this thing. This number. So her pupils are already here, and then she opens her eyes even more, and pupils are already on the place, right? So you should have a maybe for 5-6 frames closed eyes, and then she opens as she is moving in this direction. All right, just that much about this. When she moves in this direction, I can see that she's a little bit still a little bit stiff here, so she could have a little bit more of the spine curve. Now here actually head moves nicely. That's what you did, was nice. But then you should continue, and as the body starts moving in this direction, the head can continue moving in this tilt. And then catches up. Okay, let's talk now about this last thing. When she gets to this pose when she puts her arm on her hip. As she is going from down pose up, she is moving already this direction, and as hip is coming to the final right, her arm exactly at the same time is being placed on the hip. Well, it would be nice actually if we can first place her hip, first to place her arm on the hip and then move with the hips towards the right. So from down pose, she shouldn't go with the hips right away towards the right. She should go actually up still being kind of going maybe centrally up, maybe a little bit even to the left, and the arm should start going, you know, getting up, and then after that, you know, so the arm will go from down, it will go up, and then will be placed on the hip. So this is down pose that you have while she's saying Ranger Rick. Then she goes up, kind of like an anticipation, and then she places her hand just like you have it here, but she places her hand here while hips are still being on left side. So she places her hand on the hips, and then all together with the hand on the hips moves towards the right. This hand moves quite well. You were following what I was saying. Although from this pose to that shouldn't go there. It should already kind of be, you know, so from here that hand would actually, from here the hand would start rotating this way in a wrist, right? So it would be turned this way with the hands. It wouldn't be palm up, turned up. And then you would have this swiping, nice curve move down. But as she's going from up, this is highest point, then this one should be lower. No, that one. This one should be lower. It's gonna be snappier. And then from here, she goes up. Now when she gets up, I wouldn't have her palm facing completely up. It should be, the palm should be facing maybe a little bit more this way. Kind of like this. And especially, I don't know what's going on with this finger, what that means. That's strange. I like these eyebrows going down. So, but we're gonna talk about that actually next time, about squash and stretch in the whole face and being more expressive with the eyes and eyebrows. Now, notice how as her body is going down, the head is going with the same movement process down. Well, why not to delay? As the body goes down, the head should be actually overlapping that movement. It should be like this. And then going to this. Now, this movement could be slower. It looks good. I think you're doing good job. It's just if you can actually slow it down and maybe prolong the scene for maybe 12 frames or so, maybe a second.
I can do that.
Parker.
I can do that.
So maybe this could be a little bit slower. This movement back and forth with the, and after actually she stops, you can have her a little bit longer, not to cut the movie, movie right away. But and you know, as I'm going through, I probably missed some stuff, but I'm gonna cover it next time when you send me. You know, it's impossible for me to actually hit everything that I'm planning to, because you know how it goes. When I'm recording, my mind is racing one way, and some thoughts are still behind. So, but let's cover now actually weight shifts. As she is moving with the foot up and down to make that step forward, this doesn't look bad, but especially because we're not gonna see it, right? But you should still learn how to do it properly. So when you're lifting a foot, first, if you have a foot down on the oh, I cannot draw here. What is that? No. So I cannot draw here. That's bad. I'll try to describe it here. So if you have a foot that is on the ground and you wanna, I don't know why is my line disappearing. So first, in order to do step forward, first what you do is this part of the foot, oh my gosh, stays down and the heel goes up. So this is the movement that happens first, the heel up. Then whole foot starts moving with the toes just barely over the ground. And then the heel first hits the ground, heel. And then finally the hand, the foot, sorry, the foot is flat on the ground, flat. All right? So there is a nice process of how to get from one place to the other. All right, let's go back to my. So that's this step. Because when we lift a foot, in that passing moment, the foot shouldn't be flat. It should be leaning forward. Toes are pointing towards the ground, just barely, maybe like an inch or so above the ground. And always foot should come first, and then the body weight comes on that. And actually you have something like this here. So that's okay. Now, like I said before, when she is in this pose, and she should stay just a little bit more in that pose. Try to lift her hips higher, more stretched, so that she has a space where to go down to hit. When she hits, her hands push her down more and in bigger squash up to here. This line should be here, so that she has up again for that. Now look at this. This is impossible. I mean, you should try to do this. If you can do it, you're gonna be like, you're like a superwoman, because her weight is over this this area, right? So she's completely out of balance. It's impossible in this pose to lift one leg. Impossible. That's why we have to shift the weight. The hips have to move this way in order for her to lift this leg. So if she would be more on this side, so this leg would be here, then she would, from there, she would go forward now, because this leg is already here. She would go forward with a pointing arm. That would be even more effective. You know, so from back, where she moved with the hips in order to move this leg this way, then she would, from there, she would move forward as she's pointing with the arm. And then this, again, in order to lift the leg, she should move a little bit of this hips to this side. As she places her leg down, yeah, over here, what's happening is she is moving her leg up sooner than her hips move. Her hips have to move sooner. First, start moving first, and then the leg goes up and change the placement. And the same thing here. You cannot move hips on the side where you are lifting the leg. When she's doing this, again, she should be probably a little bit more on the right side in order to lift the leg. Then she places her leg down, and now she is leaning on that leg. But look at, like here, it really looks very stiff and toy-like. So after hitting here, she should go a little bit more down. So her knees would spread a little bit more, and this area would be lower, and then she would altogether go up. And then this is impossible, because in order to lift this leg, she has to move on this side. So that's that much about weight shifts. You have to pay attention to that, otherwise, you have to know that as an animator. I know that we don't see it here, and actually, when I was playing, it does not look that bad. It's kind of convincing, but altogether it might look much better actually if you do it properly.
I can do that.
Right? So once again, if you have a character that is, for example, that's bad. Okay, let me fix it again. If you have a character that is standing, all right, so this is a character that is standing with a weight being distributed completely evenly, right? The weight is here in the middle, right? So in order to lift, for example, this leg, what we have to do is we have to shift the weight there. So the weight will move this way, so the leg will be like this. In order to lift this leg a bit up, right? And if you don't do nothing, if you do nothing with the spine, then your spine will be connected rigidly with the hip, and that movement from here, right, to there can look very stiff. So what we do is we actually bend spine. Come on. So instead of being straight, we bend it, right? So the head stays pretty close to where it was here, right? After this leg goes forward for contact. It's heel on the ground, toes are up, and now we are ready to actually shift the hips all the way to the right side, because now we have a support. This toes are going down, and now we can, do whatever we are planning to do, because now we did correct weight shift and we moved a foot forward correctly. Now, if you do it correctly, just like I explained here, we'll see how that's gonna reflect on actually a whole animation. Although your scene is not showing legs, I think it's gonna be better. All right, so I'm talking way too long. I wasn't even planning to do that much, but I hope you're gonna get some good ideas out of this. All right, okie dokie, Kelsey. Talk to you later. Bye bye. Good work.